Hello and welcome to the ANZCAR Thunder series at Texas for round 5 of 11. 100 laps tonight at Texas. My name is Matt Hunter. I will be your commentator and camera operator for tonight. And as we've just seen the service session, click over to qualifying. And what we might do is we might just get a quick little recap of our point situation while we quickly can. Just to show you where we are with the points. So heading into the race tonight, we have Josh Mickelmore in first place, followed by Maddie Ray, Ruben Phelps, Tom Neal, Norman Clark making up top 5, Luke Jordanson 6th, Stephen Williams 7th, Wesley Closley 8th, Noddy Tompkins 9th, and Hamish Gallagher 10th. Highly unusual to see Hamish Gallagher that far down after 3 races, but he had a poor opening race at Daytona, and also missed last week as he was away. So that's your points table there. So tonight we are, of course, at Texas, and I'm just going to see if we can jump into a different view. So we just see in the background there, we've got Josh Mickelmore going around for his qualifying laps on his first qualifying lap. Of course, Mickelmore, the series leader so far, as we just saw on the points, as he comes across for his first qualifying lap. And that puts him to first place at the moment. He's got to come around here for his second lap. As we're seeing him come around there, let's have a little bit more look at the track info as well. And more comes across the line. So he improved his lap time. So he's just solidified that first position. So as we look at the track information, we're at obviously Texas Motor Speedway. It is a 1.5 oval or 1.5 mile oval. I'm not sure why that's showing the wrong information there, but obviously 4 turns, tri-oval as well. And we'll hide that and we'll show our weather conditions tonight for the race. Temperature 24 degrees, air temperature, partly cloudy sky, and a 35-degree track temperature. So a reasonably warm track, and that's going to be important and play a factor because I've spoken to some of the drivers earlier who have mentioned that with the fuel, you're possibly looking at a one stop. You can get away with one pit stop for fuel and make it home. But your tyres, especially that right front tyre, is going to be what takes the or what is the factor on whether you pit once or you pit twice. So we might actually see some drivers actually split the race up into threes. So they might do 34 laps and a 33 and a 33 to finish. Of course, if it all stays green. It could always change if there's cautions. It always upsets the order a bit. And so yeah, we could see a few different strategies play out there, which would be good to see. Or we could see a few cars pretty early on just taking it easy, looking after those tyres and just getting to that lap 50 mark and then jumping in and grabbing some fresh tyres to make it home. As we've still got just under a minute to go of qualifying. As we see, we've got a car out on the track there. We'll just see if we can grab that. Nigel Siddell is the driver there. So he's coming around to complete his first qualifying lap. So a 30.989. So far, it gets him about 0.6 of a second off the leader, but it's not showing him as actually in a position. So I think he might have actually tagged the wall or the grass and picked up a point, so the lap doesn't count. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to get through. He's got 1 second. No, he didn't have enough time to complete that second lap to get that qualification before it kicked over into the new service session. So, let's see if we can bring up our grid here. And let's have a look here. His cars are sort of just gridding up there in pit lane. We'll just quickly run through the starting order. So in first, off the first row will be Josh Muckamore and Norman Clark. Great qualifying position there for Norman Clark. Second row will be Stephen Williams. Of course, he had that good strong run last week, and it was unfortunate to have a bit of netcode issue, and that took him out of that race. And Raymond Yeager. Tom Neal and Phil Otto in row 3. Good qualifying from these guys as well. I haven't seen Phil Otto for a while, but it's really good to see him back in there in the kinetic car. Fourth row, Luke Jordan, Nigel Patton. Gary Wellman and Nod Tompkins on the fifth row. Brad Finley and Brett Campbell on the sixth row. Tristan Koch, Peter Wilkinson on the seventh row. Hamish Gallagher and Ruben Phelps on the 8th row, which is kind of low for those guys for qualifying. Normally you expect to see them up near the front a bit more. Matty Ray and Jamie Nankervis on the 9th row. The Mad Dog, Steve Hobbit and Nigel Siddell on the 10th row. As we're still just waiting for the cars to get rolling. They're still gridding up. So 100 laps tonight, 150 kilometres, 150 kilometres, 150 miles, 1.5 mile oval, 100 laps will be 150 miles. And quite a tricky little track. Very slippery in turn 1, very easy for cars to get loose and turn around. But the opposite of that, coming off turn 4, very easy to get tight out of turn 4 and into the wall. So look for a few cars to perhaps get up there and get into the wall. But I must say it is good to see so many faces in here who are not sort of normally running up the pointy end. So I mean, this series is a good development series. That's what it's sort of geared for, and it's good to see that there's sort of development level drivers in here, and it's really good. As we just see the cars still forming up behind the pace car here. In just a few moments we'll see them come around off turn 4 and see the pace car pull off and wait for the 31 car to control the start from the Geico restart zone. As we just see the cars come around here. Just need to close up those gaps a bit more. As we see the pace car pull off, we're going to see the blue 31 of Mickamore come up here. As you can see, they Geico restart zone, the blue and the white there, and away he goes. Leaves it right till the end to get the start, but he's away. It's a good start for Raymond Yeager there, just having a little bit of a look on the inside of Norman Clark. And Josh is cleared out there as Stephen Williams and Norman Clark still go side by side. Stephen Williams is going to jump up into the second spot there, the 98 car. Bit of 3-wide action going back there. I think that's the After Dark Sim boys of Tom Neal, Luke Jordan, and Gary Wellman in the green 45. You see Luke there just putting the pressure on the number 1 car there of Phil Otto, trying to get past. Good, nice, clean start so far. Norman has dropped back another position as Raymond Yeager in the 23 jumps up into 3rd. Just having a little bit of a look back through the pack there. It's all kind of settled down, sort of single file running there. And just having a little look, Hamish Gallagher so far in 10th spot, up 5 positions. So I imagine he's not going to hang around too long. He's going to try and get up to the front as quickly as possible. So we jump into the static camera view. Love that sound. So we see up the front here, Josh McMorr is still keeping a nice little gap there. Let's have a look. Was that Norman got a little bit sideways off the corner there? That's going to make him susceptible to Jaeger, Otto and Georgeson. They're going to make the pass. Norman just lost the momentum after he had to sort of lift out of that corner. So yeah, Gallagher sort of stalking on that back of that 45, looking to make a move. Hamish is keeping that pretty low, he's keeping it down by that white line, which is kind of interesting. Of course, it'll wear the front tyres a little bit harder, having to put a bit more pressure on it and not open up the steering wheel so much on the high line. It's all settled down a little bit. It's a bit of action at the back there. Look like Ruben Phelps got a little bit loose on the inside of Steve Hobbit there, just trying to make the pass. Ruben's looks like he's having a bit of a struggle. He's only at 1 position from starting position and he's stuck there in 15th. So normally we'd see Ruben sort of running top 10, top 5. So, but he is very good at playing the long, patient game. So we'll just see how he goes and how he ends the night. See Brett Campbell having a little look on the inside of the Mad Dog Steve Hoppert there. Just see there how Campbell sort of drifted up there, got a little bit tight on the exit of that corner. Managed to hold on to it, so that's good. As he clears Hoppert there, and the number 8 of Jeremy Curvis makes the pass on Steve Hoppert as well. Of course, number 8 car in the news, or at least the number in the news today, with the signing of and move of Kyle Busch to RCR number 8 next year. But up near the front, we see the 23 car of Raymond Jaeger looking to put pressure on the 98 car of Williams, trying to get that second position. Side by side there, heading into turn 3. And looks like Ram's going to get the move done. Williams not looking to fight too hard about it at this early stage of the race. Just having a little look here. Peter Wilkinson having a little bit of struggles, sort of dropped back there a bit now. He's dropped back down 6 places since the start of the race, so he's having a little bit of struggles there. But more laps will help him. Back up the front, sort of settled now. Josh is just pacing there and probably looking after those tyres and quite a bit. And so just looking down through the field, cars sort of just, everyone's kind of just settled down, sort of just not much going on in terms of passing action, unless somebody sort of makes a mistake and loses a lot of momentum. That kind of opens them up for the other car behind them to have a crack at them. But in saying that, we see Gallagher making the move for 7th place, just passing Tom Neal there. So Hamish has dug himself a little bit of a hole in terms of the championship. Of course, he's going for his 5th Thunder Championship title in a row. So he's got a bit of work to do on this one. It's a bit more wide open than it has been for the last two. The field is definitely catching him. As you see up there at the front there, Luke Georgeson having a really strong run. He's up into 4th spot now, so that's great. Norman Clark's dropped back down to 5th, and Phil Watto's just holding steady in 6th. As we see Gallagher there looking to make the pass. Just Gallagher up into 6th. I see Tom Neal getting a little bit of a run there, coming off turn 4. See if he's got enough momentum to get down on the inside into turn 1. He does, and Gary Wellman, smart move there in the 45. He's just gonna. The door's been opened by the car of Neil, so Gary in the 45 followed him through. And unfortunately for Phil, in one corner he loses 2 spots. Just having a little bit of a look back there. Just having a little bit of a look. Steve Hobbitt's still circulating, that's great. Nigel Sedell. Peter Wilkinson's made up a couple of positions now since we last saw him. Brett Campbell as well. A good solid run. Brad Finlay just quietly plugging along there. He is another one who is just quietly moves his way up through the field, and at the end of the night usually gets himself a good position, finishing position. Let's jump back up to the front here. Just seems like as we see the After Dark guys go side by side there. Luke Jordanson's dropping back a bit now. He was 4th place, but he's dropped back down to 7th now. So he might have just gone a little bit too hard and hurt those tyres a bit and overheated them a little bit too much. And he might be paying the price for that now. He might be just having to back off a little bit to sort of save them and see if we can get them to last a little bit longer. As we're 19 laps down now, out of 100. Of course, fuel tank should be good for well over halfway, possibly around about 58 laps or so. So it's not sort of a. Oh, I'm seeing Steve Williams has dropped down, and we've got a caution out. Just saw Steve Williams having a little bit of an issue there. I just wonder if he might have had a bit of contact with the wall. That right front of that 98 does look damaged. Ooh. So it looks like he's had a bit of an issue. Might just go back and see if we can have a look at Stephen Williams' issue, and then we'll have a little look at the incident that brought out the caution. So this is Steve Williams here. Oh yeah, he's just got tight there into the wall and just... If we just watch this, just trying to get a good view, we just see there he just got tight and pushed up into the wall, and it's just enough to clip the wall, get a bit of damage on that right front. And that's kind of what slowed him down. But at this stage he was still quite a way ahead. And then Gallagher was able to come up and capture and pass him. So not sure what happened there, but let's see if we can see what actually caused the caution. I believe it was Campbell may have had an issue that caused the caution. The 015 car. Oh, what's happened there? Doesn't help that I've hit the wrong button there. As I think we are seeing everybody come into the pits now, so we'll just watch that and then we'll go back and have a look at that Campbell issue. So everybody's coming to the pits, and looks like right sides are up for most cars there. Right sides are down, and left sides look like they're going up. Good stops from everyone. The 13 has managed to jump a few positions, but I'm pretty sure, looking at all the timing data there, which we'll actually bring up, I forget that we've got all these things that we can actually look at. Here we go. If we look at the timing data there, those times there for stationary pit stop, that's all pretty consistent with taking tyres. So I would say everyone's gone and grabbed 4 tyres there. Williams, you can see his clock is still counting up as he's obviously getting that damage repaired. So while we're just rolling around under the pace car, let's go back to this Campbell incident, which brought out the caution, and let's see if we can work out what's happened here with him. Yeah, he's been just travelling along okay. Out on that high side. Yeah, I think he's just got too high there. He seems to have kept it off the wall there. And then just gone back into the wall there. Maybe he's hit a bump. I'm not too sure. I mean, some tracks have bumps on the back straight, which are a bit unusual when... Oh, he's definitely got a hold of the wall there. Got a bit of air time. So yeah, we do see it where sometimes some tracks have bumps on the back straight, or as the tyres sort of wear and they get a bit warm, you hit those bumps and they kind of send you across the track into the wall. So that may be what's happened there, or he may have even had a bit of technical issue or equipment failure, which has sent him back into there. But very unusual, because he was definitely pushing tight off the corner towards the wall, but then he didn't actually hit the wall, and he looked like he was alright. So he did have another car in front of him as well that looked like it came up a bit, so he might have reacted to that, thinking that that car was coming up, so he might have tried to go up a bit more to make sure there was going to be no contact. But either way, it was a hard hit there, and he is still currently sitting in the pits, 4 laps down, going to get that damage repaired, but I dare say he's going to be there for a while. So yeah, it confirms it. I thought that might have been the case. There's a message in the chat from Brett saying that he's making sure he didn't clip Peter and send himself into the wall. So I did think it might have been something like that. Yeah, I think you might have thought Peter was coming up and you sort of jumped on to steer the car out of it to make sure you didn't get any contact, and unfortunately it was just enough to fire into the wall. It's good to have that confirmed. Don't mind me, I'm just going to grab a drink while we wait around under the pace car. Alright, so the lights are out on the pace car, so we are going back racing. We still have 19 cars pacing around there and 1 car sitting in the pits getting repaired. So now Gallagher here in the 13 car, he's sitting right there in 3rd position behind his teammate and boss, Josh McMore. And he's got a fresh set of tyres on as well. So we saw how fast he was cutting through the field. Now he's right at the front of the field with fresh tyres. It's definitely going to be a threat. As we see the 31s coming around, going to hit that Glyco restart zone. And he's got a really good jump there, massive jump. Controlled that restart really, really well. So we see the 13 and the 23 go side by side into turn 1. Raven's not going to fight too much against the 13. Back in the pack here though, we've got some pretty wild action. There's after dark cars, side by side, or racing close to each other. They go 2 by 2 out of turn 4. Everyone giving everybody else lots of good space. Helps to give that space just in case other drivers make a little mistake or sort of drift up a bit. If you give that space, there's less likelihood of contact happening. As you see, Wellman, he's trying to get the run out of turn 2 to get down the straight here. He's got a little bit of an overlap, trying to get past the 274 Luke Georgeson. You see there, oh yeah, you see Gary in the 45 really get tight there and push up the track there, and had to put a lot of wheel in it to get it out of the corner, and then it sort of started breaking loose a little bit. As Gary's got this bit of a slide job there and got it done, so that's good. Of course, Gary, one of the Sim boys. One sort of settle down a little bit, single file here. As I say, that Ruben Phelps is looking at getting a crossover run on the 09 of Norman Clark. Of course, Ruben was very quiet in that first run, stuck down the back, but he is now sitting in 8th spot and now starting to look like he's moving his way up and looking quite pacey. So it might have been a deliberate tactic from Ruben. He might have been just hanging back just to save those tyres and just see how it was going to go. As we jump back here, this is the battle for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. All these guys just changing positions here. A good hard racing going on here. As the 80 gets checked up in the corner a little bit. As we see, the 98 used the high line. What a great run off the high line there, just a power past everybody. Keeping that momentum. Looks like he's going to do it again on this one as well. While I've been busy watching this action there, we've actually had a change for the lead, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but we're seeing Roman Yeager is actually in the lead, and Josh and Hamish have settled into 2nd and 3rd. Don't see any sign of anything. That's like an issue or anything. Don't see any damage on the car. And Hamish has kind of been swamped here, so I think we might be seeing the makings of, as we see the 45 drift up there a little bit. He's kind of pinned in by the 13 there. But I think we're starting to see the signs of, or the starting signs of a little bit of fuel strategy. I think we could be... Surely we wouldn't be able to make 70 plus laps on fuel, but not sure. Maybe we are looking at 35 lap run to break it up though. So unusual. The 31 and the 13 are definitely slower than they have been, and I think that's a deliberate tactic on their part. So not sure what they're looking at. We'll just have to see how that plays out. As we see the 274 of Luke Georgeson, he's going to keep powering along here. He might be looking at getting past the 31 and looking more for the lead. Let's see Brett Campbell in the chat saying he's got 7 minutes of optional repairs, but he thinks his night's done and the car is going to be down a ton of HP. Possible. I'd get the damage repaired and take it out for a couple of laps to stay out of everybody's way and just see how it goes, see how your lap times compare, and if it's more than a few seconds down and you're going to be a hindrance in the way, then park it. But if not, just keep circulating, keep getting lap experience. As we see the 274 on the outside here, looking to try and get past the 31. And the 23 of Raymond Yeager, he's really cleared out. He's 2 seconds ahead now, so I think Raymond's definitely got the foot to the floor, whereas those Mitch Motorsport guys, of course, they'll be talking to each other in chat and working something out. They're definitely up to some kind of strategy. Yeah, I thought it was 59 lap full tank as well, which, as we come back there, as we see, wow, that's a big hit. That car, that's going to bring out the caution. That's the 274. I just looked away at the chat and came back and saw the 274 spinning, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but let's see. Let's grab a replay. Try and work out what's happened here. Oh, we go back further. He's not in the server, and then he's gone. Wow, that's unusual. If we have a look here, when I slow it down, he disappears from the server. So at this time, he's not in the server. And then he comes back and he's sideways. And the damage catches up as well. I think what's happened there is poor Luke, he's having a great run, but he's had a bit of network trouble or a bit of server issue. And he's blinked out, and when he's come back, he's been aimed at the wall, so it's probably blinked out on a corner. And he's been aimed at the wall, and he's made huge contact with that outside wall, and it's fired him back across the track, as we can see there. But yeah, the fact that when we did that replay there, he's not actually in the server. He disappeared and then he came back. So that definitely sort of points towards an issue, a network issue of some kind. As we're seeing, a number of cars are in pit lane. There are a number of cars that have stayed out and a lot that have come in. So we'll just keep an eye on their pit lane here. Yep, and all tyre stops as well. Norman Clark, looks like he's done a fuel only top up. Of course, they have 3 spare sets of tyres that they can change, so 1 set to start with and then 3 more to last the race distance. But we are definitely going to see now a big difference in tyre strategy. We have got our top 5 cars have all stayed out. So our top 5 cars have only done 1 pit stop. They've done 15 laps on these tyres, and everybody below that has all done a 2nd pit stop just then. As we see that top 5 come in now. So a little bit unusual. Phil Otto is the only one that stayed out. But yeah, the other top 4 cars have all come in. So perhaps they wanted to go around and make sure they got as much fuel in the tank as they could. We're on that sort of 62 laps, so we're kind of on that. When we go green, we're probably going to be about 60 laps, and we're hearing 59 laps on a full tank. So I would say that those top 4 that have just pitted stayed out that extra lap to get the last bit of fuel that they could in the tank, hoping to make it home without needing another pit stop if it goes green to the end. Alright, as we just come around here while we're still under pace car, I might just grab a quick water, so I'll be right back. And we are back. As we see the lights on the pace car are out. So now we're going to see how these two strategies play out. I think we're going to see some fuel saving going on here. I think we're going to see drivers right on the bubble. Probably going to need to save maybe 2 or 3 laps worth of fuel. Imagine guys would be clutching or even turning the engine off under the pace car, just to save every last drop they can. As we come around here, we're going to see Phil Otto lead the field into the Geico restart zone, and he's gone nice and early. Gets a good start. It's in the corner here where we're going to see the real telling difference, because Phil's got those 18 lap old tyres than everybody else. Sorry, 15 lap older tyres. As you see Raymond sort of power, and the 23 car, Raymond Jaeger, power around the outside there. And you can see the 31, the 13, even the 80 of Noddy Tompkins having a good run up in 4th spot. All powering around there, and Phil's going to have to come in. I think Phil might have, we saw that Geico restart there, I think he might have jumped the restart a little bit, so he may be having to serve a drive-through penalty for possibly jumping the restart. There is a sort of set procedure for restarts, and it looks like he might have jumped early. We'll just keep an eye on him, see if he pulls in and grabs anything. I don't think he is. Oh yeah, he is, yep. So he's going to grab... No, stop and go penalty by the looks of it. So he is away. Unfortunately, that's going to drop him down a lap, but if he can stay at least 1 lap down and we see another caution, he'll be able to get that lap back with the lucky dog. Right, back up the front here, we see Raymond Jaeger's really pulled out here. He's cleared away again. 1.5 seconds already, and that's just after 1.5 laps. Yeah. You're right, Alex. It was, yeah, gutted for Luke is a good way of putting it. He was having a very good, strong run. Looking pretty good, but just looked like he blinked out for a little bit there, and that was his night, unfortunately. Just have a little bit of a look down through the field. The 83 of Matthew Raymond is just making the pass, 90 of 98. That's for 8th position. Stephen Williams there, I think he's managed, his car's looking pretty clean. He's got most of that damage repaired, but yeah, not sure how that's going to impact him overall in the long run. As we said, the 45 Gary Wellman making a pass there of Nigel Siddell. Hope I'm getting that name pronounced right. Terrible name pronunciation. As we sit up the front, Raymond Jaeger has really cleared out here. He's 2.8 seconds ahead. So I think Raymond's going with the strategy that he will pit again. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to split the run up, grab tyres, or if he's going to grab fuel or splash fuel only. But yeah, he is really powering away. Raymond Jaeger's last lap was 0.6 of a second faster than the lap set by Micklemore and Gallagher. Raymond's the only one in the 30s. Everyone else is in the 31 second lap bracket. So you see Gallagher's made the pass of Micklemore there. Good to see Noddy Tompkins holding his position up there in 4th place. Oh, as we just see that, he gets spun by Tom Neal. And the curse of the commentator comes in again. I have got this amazing ability to talk people up, and as I'm talking them up, they crash or have an incident. Noddy's got the car going there. Doesn't look like too much damage except for that right rear. Hopefully that'll get them repaired and he'll be able to get that sort of fixed. But let's see if we can jump back and have a look and see what's gone on here to cause this caution. That's the aftermath, is it? Oh, and that was the 90 car of Patton, I believe, who just clipped the back of it. So we go here. Let's try and get a good camera view. Oh, two cars fighting for the same real estate there, I think. Good save by Patton there. He got a little bit of the back of Tompkins there, but he was able to not have it send him up into the wall. Let's see if we can jump onto a blimp view here and have a little bit of a look. I think what we're going to see will probably be that the Neil car behind has gone down to make the pass below, and oh no, maybe he's just underestimated. Maybe Noddy's lifted a little bit early than what Neil was expecting, possibly fuel saving, and that difference in speed has caused Neil to hit the back of Tompkins there, and everybody else has done a pretty good job of getting past. No more damage for anybody else. That's looking good. As we're seeing a few more cars head down pit road, I think you probably most likely want to be topping up fuel now. Not sure if you would get tyres, but having a little look at the 3-stop data, there's a few cars that have got tyres. And of course we're judging that based on their time. But there's a few cars that have also done a splash. Gary Wellman with a 6-second pit stop time. That's most likely going to be a fuel splash. Ramy Jaeger behind him with a 5.7, probably a fuel splash as well. Nigel Patton, 6.4 fuel. Norman Clark, 7.6. So with that sort of pit stop stationary time, you would expect that that is probably fuel only pit stops, topping up the fuel just to make sure they've got enough to get home. So we're going to be doing 50 laps now, well inside the 59 lap window. Up the front, the cars that have stayed out, we're looking at the top 4 cars have stayed out, so they must be pretty confident that they're going to be able to fuel save and get it home from here. Of course they last pitted 13 laps ago, so they pitted the last caution, so they'll probably still have to be fuel saving, whereas the guys behind can just now go for it. Be interested to see. I'm just going to jump on board with Gallagher here and see if we can hear him clutching it or saving fuel. He's definitely doing something with the RPM there. So I think what you'll find is he is clutching it there to save fuel. You can hear that RPM go up and then you hear it drop down when he pushes the clutch in. And then his teammate Micklemore. Also doing the same thing as well. So he is, these cars up front are definitely fuel saving pretty hard. They are clutching under the caution to make sure that they're safe. And then of course if we go to a car like Gary Wellman might be fuel saving as well, because it never hurts to have too much. But he doesn't need to, so it wasn't Gary, that was Ramy Jaeger. So, setting up this last 49 lap run to the end, of course there may be another caution that breaks it up, but we have got the cars at the front. They will be fuel saving. whereas the guys from 5th place Gary Wellman onwards have enough fuel to make it to the end. They can just go flat tack. So given Raymond Jaeger's pace so far, I'd be interested to watch and see how he goes now, because he shouldn't have any worries on fuel, and we've seen that he's been pretty quick. But I think the 31 and the 13 are going to have to just be careful with their lap times and conserve that fuel. Just trying to get a nice different camera view here, as we can see. 13 coming up to the restart zone. Getting a really good start there. So you see them come here. The 13's got a really good start, cleared away. And the 31's settled in behind him. Still side by side for the third position. No, Raymond's managed to clear him there. They've all sort of settled down to single file. We're seeing Raymond Jaeger in the 23 having a little bit of a look on the inside of Neil there. See the 23 car of Jaeger really trying to get a good run off that corner and set up the car of Neil to try and pass him. And we've got another caution. Let's see if we can find out what's created there. Peter Wilkinson's got no front on his car. Alright, let's see if we can find out what's happened here. Let's jump to the replay. See Peter Wilkinson come around here. Looks like the 131 of Steve Hoppert in front of Wilkinson is a bit sideways there. Wonder if that's caused anything. Going on straight here. Just trying to see where we've had an incident. 131 again, looks like he's a little bit loose, but that's alright. He's come up and that's what's caused our caution. Unfortunately, the 131 we see the yellow 131 will come up the track into the 268 of Peter Wilkinson, and unfortunately that's going to be a significant amount of damage to both cars there. So you can see Wilkinson's lost the front of his as Hopper is still spinning, and he's definitely lost the back of his. So we'll just jump back live and see Steve Hobbit in the pit repair there. So you see a few more cars come through. That was full auto coming through, and Peter Wilkinson's going to need some major repairs to that, unfortunately. That's just a shame, unfortunately. That's yeah, no much more than can say there. It was the exit of turn 4, so the cars do get very tight there. They do push up, so it may just be a case there that the 131 of Hopper has got very tight there and pushed up there into the 268 of Wilkinson, as you can see there, and that was the result. But this caution greatly helps the 13 and the 31 and the 83 as well, and the 38 is another one, and I think the 45 as well, I'm not sure. But those cars that were really trying to push that fuel mileage, this caution really, really helps them. I think if we jump on board again, we'll hear these guys clutching again. Yep, clutching to save fuel. Just making sure they've got enough fuel to get home. Let's have a little bit of a look here. So we've had 4 cautions so far for 14 laps. I think we'll probably get another 15, or 4 cautions for 15. And I think we'll probably still get another... The lights on the pace car aren't out yet, so we're probably still going to get another couple of laps under the pace car. 6 lead changes. And let's check back in on our weather, see how our track temperature's gone. So our track temperature's gone down a little bit. From memory, it was 34 degrees at the start of the race, so it has gone down 3 degrees. So that will help, as well as the track being rubbered up a bit as well. We might just have a little bit of a skim through the field, just to give everyone a bit of camera time. So just rechecking our order. We've got Gallagher in first place, Micklemore in second, Matthew Raymond in third, Tom Neal in fourth, Raymond Yeager in fifth, Gary Wellman in sixth position, Ruben Phelps in seventh. Coming right near the end of the race and coming up near the front. That's good for Ruben. Nigel Patton in the 90. Of course, we've seen him take that evasive action when Tompkins was spun. Jamie Nankervis in 9th position. Stephen Williams in 10th position. Hasn't been able to get back up to the front there where he was earlier on in the race. That might be just because of pit stops and strategy and stuff. So we'll just see how that plays out for Steve. Norman Clark in 11th. Tristan Koch in 12th. Brad Finlay in 13th. Phil Otto in 15th, Nigel Siddell in 16th, Peter Wilkinson is still running around, that's good to see, in 17th, Steve Hopper is sitting on the pits, 5 laps down, Brett Campbell's still going around making laps, excellent to see, and Luke Jordan's still sitting in the pits there. Very slow caution, these ones here for some reason. Got to be probably really slow cautions next week. We're going to head to Talladega. So, although our last Super Speedway race, we didn't see any cautions, so we may not see any cautions at Talladega either. That's right, yeah. So we now have a 42 lap run to the end, as we see Hamish in the 13 coming around here in the Geico zone, and he's restarted. Another good restart for Hamish. Got a big jump there. Caught Matty Ray and the 83 yellow car there napping a little bit. As we see the 31 of Micklemore, he slots down in the second spot there. It's all worked itself out pretty well at the front there, and we just have a little look back here at the battle. Ruben Phelps in the 06 car in 5th place. And as we see, there's a bit of battling going on here for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. It's all sort of settled down single file now. In saying that though, we see Stephen Williams in the 98 there, looking to try and make a run on the outside of Tompkins in the 80. Just not able to do it. That car just doesn't have, that 98 car just doesn't seem like it's been the same since Steve made that contact with the wall. And even though he's got it all repaired, it just hasn't been the same. Just have a little look back here. Peter Wilkinson in that damaged car is still making reasonably good time. So fingers crossed it doesn't blow the engine. As we jump back up the front here again. Got a good battle going on here in the top 5. We've got Micklemore in the 31 looking to try and get past his teammate in first place, and Raymond Yeager in the 23 looking to use those tyres that are about 12 laps fresher So he's looking to try and use those as a bit of an advantage to get up there. And Ruben Phelps has worked his way up into the top 5 as well in the 6 car. Of course, the Texas track in real life was in the news last week because it has lost the All-Star race, which is great. It had the All-Star race in the real life NASCAR, and yeah, kind of wasn't the best sort of track for it in a lot of people's opinion. But NASCAR decided to move the All-Star race to North Wilkes-Barre next year, which will be great. A short track with tyre degradation. So Ruben Phelps now working his way up into 3rd position. So Ruben and Raven having a good little battle there. Ruben has definitely got up to speed now. Up 13 positions from where he started from. As they're all top 4 are all nose to tail now. Pretty close to nose to tail. See, Ruben's going to try and get that good run off turn 2 there. Yeah, he's got a really good run there. He slides up in front of the 31 there of Mickamore. Josh not looking to fight too much about that at the moment. Of course, if the race goes green to the end from this restart, it'll be the longest green flag run of the race. So it'll be a case of who's managed to save their tyres the best or not heat them up too much. Just going back in the field a little bit. Gary Wellman looking to try and get a bit of a run there on Matty Ray. Matty Ray's sort of dropping a little bit down the field now, unfortunately for him. So Wellman gets that pass done. Now Matty Ray is being lined up by Tom Neal in the 38. Steve Williams is still dropping down. Oh, still sitting in 12th spot. And it looks like Peter Wilkinson may have put his car behind the wall. He might have just had a bit too much damage there, unfortunately. Near the front, Ruben Phelps has managed to get that pass done. So Ruben Phelps has managed to pass Gallagher for the lead of the race. Of course, Ruben's one of those drivers that has more than enough fuel to make it to the end, and fresher tyres as well, so only 12 laps fresher, but enough to make a difference, I think. see Jaeger in the 23 looking to try and get past the 31 of Micklemore. Still side by side battling here as Micklemore crosses over the back and gets past. But as we can see up in front of them there, this battling side by side from Micklemore and Jaeger is allowing Gallagher to sort of clear out and clear ahead a bit. Kind of settled back down now to a bit of a rhythm. Norman Clark's made the pass on Neil. So we're seeing a lot of drivers making passes early and then drivers sort of passing them back, and I think drivers are having to sort of cycle their tyres a bit. They might drive the cars a bit harder than normal, or drive the car harder and overheat those tyres, and then back off for a few laps and let those tyres sort of cool down just a little bit and settle down a little bit, and then have another crack with them and cycle them through. But as we see, Stephen Williams now up to 9th position, so Steve was sort of was dropping back a little bit, but now as everybody else is sort of dropping off a little bit, Steve is definitely coming towards the front again. Tom Neal in the 38 there, he looks to be one that is sort of starting to really struggle. But he is on the same strategy as Gallagher and Micklemore, so I don't think he would need to fuel save now given the cautions that we've had, but he could be feeling the effect of those tyres being 12 laps older than the cars around him. And top 3 cars are sort of sitting pretty steady there, pretty consistent times between them. In fact, Phelps and Gallagher ran basically a virtually identical lap last lap, so as you see Micklemore closing up on the back of Gallagher there. That could be Gallagher just sort of saving a little bit on those tyres, sort of just cooling them down a little bit, or maybe needing to fuel save a little bit. See the sun's come out in that corner again. Josh is having a look, and Hamish is just not going to make it hard for him and just sort of lets Josh get through there. They're both catching Phelps quite closely. So Micklemore and Gallagher might be needing to fuel save a little bit and use each other as a draft. Of course, they're teammates and they'll have to communicate that and work together to coordinate it. But so they might be needing to just use each other as a bit of a draft and change the roles around. But yeah, up the front, Phelps he's good. He should be good on fuel, so he's just going. Got a bit of a separation gap there, so we might just jump down the field and have a little bit of a look and see how these other battles are sort of getting on. So Jamie Nankervis is also having another one who's having a good run late. He's worked his way into a top 5 now. He's up 13 positions. The second most positions gained of the night. Of course, his teammate Ruben Phillips got 15 positions gained as the top. And Gary Wellman in 6th, Matty Ray. Steve Williams is working his way through slowly. Noddy Tompkins having a bit of a battle there with Neil. That will be for 11th and 12th. Phil's running there with Tristan. So far we've had 2 retirements. We've had Wilkinson and Campbell park it. Luke Jorgensen is sitting there and his car is sitting in the pits, but I would say he's probably not going to come back out, and he's probably just helping his teammate Neil, who's having a little look on the inside of Patton there. As we're down under 20 laps to go, we've got 19 laps to go. Ooh, if you saw that 80 car, the 80 and the 90, I thought were going to come together, but they've done a pretty good job to keep it off each other, so that's good. 2 vastly different lines there. The 80 car taking that low line, drifting up in front. The 90 sort of sees them coming and checks up a little bit. But that allows the 1 car to get a bit of a run on the 90, and he's of the 1 car for Wato, and he's looking to make the pass as well. And the 90 car of Nigel Patton just decides he's just going to get out of it there, and he's just going to try and survive to the end and not battle and risk having a crash or anything. As we jump back up the front, so Phelps has managed to open up that gap a little bit more. It's now over half a second as they pass the 131 of Hoppet. Steve is back out on track at 11 laps down though, unfortunately on the leaders after the incident. So let's continue to count down here. Helps if you don't mute yourself. I managed to unmute myself again now. So we saw a bit of action there. Yellow car, Noddy Tompkins. It was a yellow car of Matty Ray battling for 7th position there. As we've seen another change for position there, we've seen Gallagher get past his teammate Mickelmore. So it'll be interesting to see if they manage to finish where they are running now, and we do get to interview them. I'll try and remember to ask them if they're doing a little bit of helping each other out. And what I mean by that is having one of them go in front of the other, just so the other one can get a bit of fuel saving with the draft, and taking turns at that. Interesting to see if there's anything sort of like that going on. Otherwise, it could be just a case of cycling tyres trying to get up there and have a crack at Ruben and not being able to do so, just making it easy for the other guy to get past. Ruben is looking pretty good out there at the front there. Running very good consistent lap times. Raymond's sort of out there on his own in 4th place, and as is Jamie Nankervis in the 5th. And Gary Wellman is looking to try and catch Nankervis there, but that lap time he was 2/10 slower. So Nankervis might be looking pretty good for a top 5 finish. So it's all pretty settled at the moment. There's all sort of pretty consistent gaps and spread out. There's almost a 1 second gap at the front between Phelps and Gallagher. Matty Ray sort of having a bit of a crack here at the 45 of Wellman. They'll be for 6th position. As Matty Ray's looking to get that move done there. Norman Clark's looking to try and follow Matty Ray through there. Matty Ray in the 83 opened up the door, putting the 45 on the outside, and unfortunately Norman wasn't able to follow him through, and 45 has been able to get down there. But he is running the high line on this here. Sorry, I wasn't sure. Thought I might have been having an earthquake here. But nope, that's all good. Where were we? So yeah, of course, Norman Clark here running in 7th spot. Good finish for him, a good spot for him as well. And Steve Williams in 8th there. So this is kind of the battle pack here, really. The 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th position. Phelps is holding that 1 second lead at the front pretty well. As you see, Norman's looking to make the move on Randy May. He's going to get that done. One free runner, Hoppet stays way out of the way. Does a really good job. Those, because of his fresh tyres, nowhere sort of to go. Matty Ray got checked up a little bit there, and so the 83 and the 45 battling pretty hard there now. It's for 8th and 9th spot. And up the front, just looking at the timing data as well, Mickelmore has really dropped off. I'm wondering if he's having to sort of ease it up a bit and fuel save now, just to make sure he gets that home. But we'll jump back in here. Norman Clark's having a really good, strong finish to this race here. He's really put the hammer down on these last few laps with 10 to go. And Stephen Williams is up to 7th position again. Matty Ray, Gary Wellman. So they've kind of settled down now. They've all sort of put down what they've got left on their tyres and driven as hard as they could, and got their positions. And now they're sort of just all going to settle back in. But as I say that, it looks like Stevie Williams is looking... Right, Matty Ray's just got past Stevie Williams. So there's really good backwards and forward action here. But Norman is storming at the end of this race, that's for sure. I don't know if he's going to have enough to catch Nankervis. He's only got 2 more laps to go after this one. 3 more laps. Front here, Phelps is holding that good gap, 1 second gap to Gallagher. As I say that though, it's coming down. Alright, just come back up, that's good. Mickelmore's really dropping off there now. You see Raymond Yeager and Jamie Nankervis. And Norman's coming through there now. And the Matty Ray, Stephen Williams and Gary Wellman battle seems to have settled down a bit. But Noddy Tompkins in the ANZCAR there is looking to have a bit of a crack at Wellman at 45. That is for 9th position. Looks like Noddy's going to get that done. But with the laps counting down here, we're going to jump back to the front where Ruben Phelps is on the last lap of the race. He's taken the white flag. Just 2 more corners for him to negotiate. He's lost a little bit of time to Gallagher, but he can afford to just sort of ease up a little bit and take it careful. He's built himself a nice buffer. So he's coming out of turn 4 there. It's looking pretty good so far. And that's it, yeah. Ruben Phelps is going to take the win on this one. And Gallagher's going to follow him home second. Micklemore in third. Yagan and Curvis. Norman Clark there. So a really good long green flag run to finish that one there. As you see, Ruben Phelps on the 06 is already celebrating, doing a bit of drifting. Although if Andrew Dyson was watching, he'd be like, "Oh, that's not drifting. This is drifting." And Ruben's going to light them up here for the win. So a really impressive win there from Ruben, managing to make up 15 positions, highest position gainer of the night. He's really going to burn those tyres down now. Right, so what we might do now, we might just run through our finishing order, our results. Right, so in first position, obviously Ruben Phelps there, and making up 15 positions. Hamish Gallagher in second, Josh Micklemore in third, Raymond Yeager in fourth, Jamie Dan Curvis in fifth, Norman Clark sixth, Matty Ray seventh, Stephen Williams in eighth, ninth was Noddy Tompkins, and 10 was Gary Wellman. 11th position was Phil Otto, 12th was Tristan Koch, 13th was Brad Finlay, 14th Nigel Patton, 15th Nigel Siddell, 16th for Tom Neal. Shame for Tom there, he was having a really good run up in the top 5 there, but he sort of just faded back on that last run. Steve Hoppett in 17th, and then I think we start jumping into our retirements here. Peter Wilkinson in 18th, 19th Brett Campbell, and 20th Luke Georgeson. So really good finish there, 40 lap run, 42 lap run at the end there, I think. But I still think, yeah, we were seeing fuel saving maybe playing a part there with those cars that had stayed out earlier. But let's see if we can have a little look and see if we've got any drivers in the green room. All right, so we'll just set this up here. Don't mind me, just talking to myself. Right, let's see if we can grab up Josh Micklemore. Josh Micklemore back in the broadcast booth here. Third place finish for you tonight. How was your race?
Oh, yeah, wasn't too bad, man. Just strategies didn't fall their way again. But yeah, still had a fast car.
Yeah, now I was speculating and wondering, were you having to, in that last long green flag run, were you having to fuel save at all during that? Or did you save enough under the couple of cautions?
Yeah, what, the last run?
Yeah.
Just did then?
Yeah.
Nah, we had enough fuel there. It's just we were on the old tyres from the run before. So we still had a set of tyres in the back, and then we'll wait for yellow to come out, and
Yeah.
it didn't come out.
Yeah, of course you had a 12 lap older tyres than Ruben, who finished first. But I did notice, look, it sounded like you were sort of clutching under those cautions just to save and make sure, because I think you had like maybe 2 or 3 cautions. Were you having to clutch under those cautions to save a bit?
Yeah, it was just to make sure, sort of thing. I think we were okay by a few laps anyway, but yeah, we're just making sure, sort of thing. The run before, I think, when we restarted on lap 40, myself and Hamish were trying to go. We got to go try and go the whole way. So on that tank. But that would have been interesting. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, the yellow came out.
Yeah, no, I thought that was the case because I thought it was going to be about a 60 lap green flag run, which was going to be right on the bubble, I think, for fuel. And yeah, so that would have been really interesting to see how that played out. So at the end, you sort of dropped a bit of time in the last sort of few laps. Did you kind of just burn your tyres off just trying to get to Phelps?
Yeah, I was just going for it and just see if I could do so. And obviously, they just worn out more than I thought. But
Yeah.
I knew we had it locked in for a top 3 sort of thing with the times and stuff that was on the telemetry and stuff as we're going. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's all good, mate.
Oh, excellent, excellent. All right. Obviously, Talladega next week. Looking forward to some more super speedway fun.
No, not at all. I hate it. No, not looking forward to that. But yeah, we'll see how we go, man. Try and extend this lead if we can get a good finish next week as well. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've got a win this season yet in season 3, but if I haven't, I need to get one. I think I do have one, don't I?
I'm not sure. I think you might do. Yeah. I'm not sure if I have to have a quick look at the points. Let me just check them up. No. Hamish has got one. Edward, Dave, and Jaden are the only race winners so far. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll see if we can get a win again. And yeah, we'll see how we go.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Well, use your thing of shout out to all your sponsors and all your adoring fans.
Oh yeah. I haven't got many, mate.
More than me.
You clown. Just sponsors. Main sponsor this year, Affinity Constructions Australia. Done a fair bit for us this year, and Meadows Designs for jumping on early in the year as well. And of course, all my teammates I race with each week, and you boys for putting on the broadcast.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Well, of course, obviously, got to be back here tomorrow night in the Cup car and the same track. So we might see you up in here in the booth tomorrow night if you have a good run.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. We've done a fair bit of testing last night, myself and Jace, for tomorrow night. So I actually don't mind the car tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get a winner or top 3 again, like we did last week.
Excellent. Awesome. All right, I will drop you back down to the green room and I'll catch you later on.
All right, see you, mate.
Yeah. So now we will grab our second place finish, Hamish Gallagher. Hamish Gallagher, the Smat Hunter in the broadcast booth here. How was your race tonight?
Yeah, not too bad, Matty. It was a bit fun. We started in the back there, just to been trying to race with Matty Ray, and so I told him he has to qualify, and then I didn't turn up last week.
Yeah.
And then he qualified, and then didn't qualify this week, so I didn't qualify either. And then yeah, no, it was okay. Car was sort of tight, as it always is here, so that's sort of a bit lame on the long runs. We had a few cautions, spice things up, so yeah, hopefully it made things interesting.
Excellent, yeah. And I was talking to Josh. Obviously, you two were running the same strategy there, where I think you were looking to go maybe 60 laps to the end of there if it was going green.
Yeah, so it's going to be tight. You could just do 60, but we're driving it nice and slow, just running to a number at the start, which is like Jaeger. He managed to skip away there, but we weren't worried about that. But yeah, we're just like, as long as we don't get a caution within 10, 15 laps, and then it's exactly what happens. Rubino managed to come down, get fresh tyres, and then we sort of never really... We were just hoping I could just sort of sit on his back bumper there and maybe let him try and push him a bit, and then right at the very end of the run, his tyres might fall off. But yeah, me and Joshy started fighting each other. That sort of let him get away, so
yeah,
it wasn't even able to quite get back to him. But yeah, no, well done to Ruben. He made the right call on the strategy tonight, and yeah, got the win. So good on him.
Yeah, he did indeed. He did. I saw you doing the old trick that you learned off me a few years ago, clutching under caution and stuff to save your fuel and all those little tricks.
Yeah, no, yep. That's like we did it that. I think was it Kentucky or something like that? We did that race. We saved fuel the entire race. Yeah, that was a long race. Eh?
We were clutching. Yeah, under green, we were clutching into the corners.
Yeah, pretty much from lap 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite that bad, but she was right on there. It was like half a lap in it. So I was
Yeah.
hoping we probably would have been able to make it because the car would have got a bit slower towards the end of the run. But Joshy wasn't too happy. He was like, "Oh, we're not going to make it." So that's why I sort of got ahead of him just to give him a bit of tow. So
Yeah.
yeah, we should have just made it. But yeah, we would have had to have pulled out all the tricks.
All
Probably
the
would have been
tricks.
shutting it off by then. Like this year, I learned from that race, Matty. I've got a little toggle switch in my wheel now, so I can for the
It's-
ignition. So
It's
I can
handy,
just-
eh? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done that once, but I've never had to really sort of do that again. Toggle, turn the car off and turn it back on again to save fuel.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. It's a bit risky though, eh? Because you turn it back on, and all of a sudden you don't know what you're doing, where the revs are or anything like that, and you just shoot up the track and hit the wall or something. So it takes a bit of practice.
You've got to concentrate on it, eh? That's for sure. That's good. I sort of picked what you guys were trying to do there, and we rode around on board with you under caution for a bit, and was explaining you're clutching to save the fuel, and
Oh, nice. Yep.
and then I figured that because you and Josh were changing positions, that you were taking turns being the lead car to give a bit of a draft for fuel saving for the car back behind them as well. So, yeah.
Mate, Matty, you're a pro at this. You know everything. Good job.
Well, it was sort of guesstimate. Yeah, I'm wrong more times than I'm right.
Did you see what happened to Georgian? Was he on the stream? Like when he crashed right in front of us? Is that
Yeah, it looked like he dropped out of the server for a little bit because
yeah.
he was gone and then he came back and he was sideways. So I think he must have lost connection and had come back and he was in the wall.
Yeah, it gave us awful Friday because I couldn't
Oh,
see him
yeah.
ahead of Josh. And all of a sudden, he's like 90 degrees, just shooting off in front of him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Josh had touched the brake there. We all would have ran into him and had a huge wreck. So, yeah, didn't need that, eh? It was a bit of a fright.
No, and it was a shame for him as well because he was having a good strong run. So, shame for Luke as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do the usual thing. You shout out to all your sponsors and fans and the like.
Yep. Shout out to Dan. I believe you got to win the trucks on Monday. So good stuff, Dan. Yeah, thank you, Matty, for doing this broadcast. Hopefully, get you back in a race before the end of the year. It'd be good to be back in racing with you. There must be a concrete race coming up at some point. I know we just had Bristol. We need to chuck a sneaky old Nashville or something on there for you at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, I'm quite into the super late models at the moment. I'm not doing any driving at the moment, but I might try and tee something up with some super late models.
Yeah, because you need to run one of these Ozstream ones on Sunday nights. I've been running a couple of them with the super lates. They've been fun.
Yeah, I need to jump into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's late. It's late for us, but Sunday night's not great. But yeah, no, I've done a couple of those. They're real fun to get back in.
I'll check it out. Yeah. I need to get back behind the wheel. It's been about 4 weeks since I've actually done any laps. So
yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering, have you done any AI racing, or is it just like cold turkey?
No, it's cold turkey. I've been there's so many other things I'm working on the background here trying to get sorted. So not much time to race, but yeah. But no, that's all good. All right.
No.
I'll drop it back down and I'll catch you later on.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Cheers. All right, let's see if we can grab Ruben up. Ruben Phelps, this is Matt Hunter in the broadcast booth here. How was your race tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely brilliant, you can say.
Brilliant strategy.
Oh yeah, I felt real comfortable when it came to practice. I liked it sliding around. You can drive off the rear wheel, and from that point on, I did like 5 laps, and I knew that tonight was going to be a good one. So, had a little hiccup at the start of the race though. Had to go and reset something, so I had to restart the computer. But luckily, I got back before the race start.
Yeah.
But so I just started at the back because obviously qualifying was finished, and just took my time, and bits and bobs all made the strategy a little bit easier.
Yeah, I was wondering what the story was there with you starting in the back there, and early on you really took your time. Like you were running around about 15th place or whatever, and you weren't making very many positions, and Hamish had obviously started back down there with you and had gone right up near the front. So
Yeah,
was a definite strategy on your part there just to take it easy?
Well, yeah, it definitely was always going to be a part of that strategy tonight, especially just the way the Texas track is. Like if you go turn 1 and 2, especially if you sort of has to sort of run it in a different line, because if you push yourself up to that center, if you're center high, you can either get it rotated or you can't. And if you can't do it, you burn up that right front. So I use that that top entry, straightened off the corner to the bottom, and then used a little bit of apron there to straighten off my exits, which really looked after tyres. So it was when I knew I could get that rotation in the rear, I was just backed off a lot to make sure I just kept the tyres on me, and obviously that's why I stayed back there. Didn't help that the start of the race especially, there was, I don't know, a massive checkup at the back of the field, so I sort of lost like 3 or 4 spots at the start, so I ended up just went really slow just to see what happens, and then it started coming up, and then the first yellow came out, and then all the strategy calls came out.
Well, of course, you certainly nailed the strategy there. Got it perfect. You didn't have to worry about fuel saving at all, and you were able just to go flat tack. And yeah, it's pretty good. Must feel pretty good to beat Gallagher and Micklemore as well, and they're very strong drivers in this car.
Exactly, and of course Hamish missed last week, so trying to get back up to that championship lead might be interesting, but it might be a little bit easier because I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to race this next week because I'm going to a show of some sort, so hopefully I'll make it in time, but anyway.
Well, you won't need to worry about qualifying too much because it's Talladega, so
well,
you can
exactly.
always just jump in and just at the back of the pack and work your way up.
Mind you, with the super speedway racing lately, every time there's a qualifying session, I seem to be either first or second. So of course
That's
I've got the super speedway down.
Yeah, you've got the single car speed on the super speedways nailed. Just have a look here. Good finish for your teammate Jamie Nankervis as well. Top 5 finish for him. He must be pretty happy with that.
Oh, I didn't even realise, but no, that's really good. He was having he had a similar car to mine. I mean, he was having a little bit of practice. In the practice, he was sliding around a lot more than he would have liked. But as the strategy again, as the race went on, and the rubber and the temperature of the track changed, I think everything tightened up, and it obviously must have worked. And he got a top 5 from it. So he was doing my strategy. So we were working all with each other, calling it out, and yep, top 5. So good outcome for the team.
Yeah, excellent. Good night for your team. All right. Well, speaking of your team, any sponsors and fans you want to give a bit of a shout out to?
I got a shout out Custom Diecast and Paints for the paint scheme, and of course Jamie being a teammate, and Tristo. Not sure where he finished, but he was there too. Of course, got to thank ANZCAR and Edward, you, Matty, and all them. And of course Matt too. Having sit there for a good hour and a half talking by yourself, it must be fun.
It's getting better. I'm getting a lot more comfortable in it, that's for sure. Yeah, it's still a little bit of spots where you're like wondering whether I should be talking or letting the action do the talking. But we're getting there. That's good.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right. Well, I will drop back down and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, catch you, mate.
There you go. That is, we've now heard from all our top 3 tonight. Yeah, great strategy call by Ruben Phelps there, and good patience early on in the race as well from him, just to sort of work out what kind of car he had and how to sort of get it around this track, and then turn up the speed and turn it on a bit when it sort of mattered in the last half of the race. So yeah, excellent. All right, so that just about does it for us tonight. I will just chuck up our graphic for next week. So yeah, next week, race 6 of season 3 Thunder for 2011. 21st September, it will be 68 laps around Talladega. So not sure what we're going to see here. Obviously, we did Daytona as our round 1 and we went caution free. So our standard of super speedway racing has definitely improved quite a bit. But it'll be interesting to see if that continues on, or whether we may see some cautions. And of course, it's very easy to be caught up in a big one, and it can have a big impact on the championship because you can lose a lot of points quickly if you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time and get caught up in it. And given that this championship looks like it's going to be a pretty close one, this one, so yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see. But I think that's enough from me tonight. I think we will ended up there, and of course, again, congratulations to Ruben Phelps on the win, and congrats to the other drivers for good race as well. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow night, where we will be back here on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, and we will have the ANZCAR Cup race coming from Texas Speedway as well, Texas Motor Speedway. Of course, that will be round 3 of the chase, round 3 or 4 of the chase. I need to double check that. But yeah, of course, the 10 race chase, top 2 positions neck and neck. Foster and Dyson, 0 points separates them. So that's going to be an interesting battle to see there tomorrow night as well. I believe Texas is a pretty strong race for Dyson, so track for him. So yeah, so join us then and for that action. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.